All this stuff has been planned ahead of time. This video, I, Pet Goat 2, it's called Pet Goat 2 because on 9/11, while the planes were hitting the World Trade Towers, George Bush, who was president at that time, was sitting in this classroom and they were reading a story called The Pet Goat.
The Pet Goat. Yes, The Pet Goat.
So right off the bat, when you see a video called Pet Goat 2, it's talking about the sequel or the next 9/11 or what comes after 9/11 or 9/11 part 2, right? The next huge catastrophic event to befall the USA. Now, it came out in 2012, but it has a timeline and you can see a progression into our modern day events. So right here, you see George Bush sitting in the classroom, right? It mimics what we saw in that scene where they were reading The Pet Goat 2. So it's alluding to 9/11, but giving you details regarding the sequel to 9/11. So it starts with George Bush. Now, George Bush stopped being president in 2008, early 2008. You know, that's when Obama became president. So Obama becomes president in 2008. So that's why you see the progression from George W. Bush to Obama. So this is moving into 2008. Now, Obama was president all the way up until the beginning of 2017. So it shows Bush, Obama. Now, Obama graduates. You see, he has the graduation cap on. Well, when the tassel flips, that means he's graduating. Okay. So he's leaving something that he was before and becoming something different. Now, this represents a transition here. So Obama's graduated from what he was during this previous time frame, which was president, and now it's something else. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you. It actually shows Trump in here, but right now I'm showing you there's a progression. So you have Bush, the same puppet, which is puppeted by this dragon, which we'll talk about that later, turns into Obama. So it's the same guy, right? The same guy, he just looks different. So the same puppet. The puppet is the president. So Bush, Obama graduates. So that takes us out of his presidency into 2017 because Obama, Trump was inaugurated. His inauguration day was January 20th, 2017. So it transitions. So it goes Bush, Obama graduates. Now he's changed. So this is out of Obama's presidency now. That Obama has graduated. And it shifts. The very next scene you see is this girl sitting here. But behind her, you see this figure. The only figure with this hair swoop. Now, follow me here because it shows Trump. For a long time, people made fun of Trump's hair swoop, but the way that this figure is sitting is very telling. You see how he's sitting kind of crouched over, legs open. His hands are in this diamond down type of position, pyramid down type of position. This is how Trump sits almost all the time. And I'm going to show you that. You could just Google it, just Google Trump sitting and you'll see results and you'll see him sitting in this same posture. Not only that, but above his head when it first shows the scene, because it kind of transitions, there's horns from, it's horns from this buck. But at first it doesn't show the buck. It just shows the head and then the horns coming out of the Trump figure's head. And if you really look at it, I'm not going to trace it out, but you can see, if you will, the rough presentation of the letters T, R, U, M, and P. P is a little bit speculative, but, it's an elongated M, but hopefully you can make that out. Definitely from Bush to Obama to this figure here, which is Trump. And it's right in the year. So you're moving right into 2017. And now this scene right here, it shows it's kind of multi-layered. This video is very multi-layered. But there are 12 of these gray figures, these ashen figures. 12 of them, and they represent the months of a calendar year. And the girl's sitting in the middle. Now, what happened in 2017, this is very pivotal in this video. You have to understand that they're using a Revelation 12, chapters 12 and chapters 13, along with other chapters, but primarily those two chapters as a theme upon which they overlay their activities. In other words, they're intentionally fulfilling Revelation chapter 12 and 13 in order to twist those things, like as they're carrying out activities in line with these verses, what they say, they're also giving you the spin, like as they're doing it, so they can come back and point to it and say, see, this is what this meant and this is how it happened, right? That's what they're trying to do in order to deceive the world into receiving the Antichrist, who is soon to come. This video shows the Antichrist coming out. We are in the Antichrist rollout right now. This is the progression. They're moving, they're making their moves right now. So this as it moves into 2017, this depicts things that are in accordance with Trump's presidency. As it's showing Trump, okay, 2017, the 12 figures, the girl. Now, this might sound a little far-fetched, but as I show you these different, I don't have time in this particular video to go through all that right now. So I'm going to make a second video, or a third. This will be the third video in this series, where I'm going to show you what this means and how it absolutely incontrovertibly shows that they are trying to fulfill a Revelation 12 theme. They're trying to bring in the Antichrist. So I'm going to wrap this up because it's already getting almost to 8 minutes, and I don't want to start explaining it and then have to cut off, right? Because the video can only go 10 minutes. So I'm going to cut it off. Look for the next one. I'm going to upload it right after this one.